Talikoti, who is a retired professor and head from Department of Home Science, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. She holds her specialization in food and human nutrition with more than 3 decades of experience, and she has been a part of editorial boards of various international and national journals. She was also associated with the several national and international agencies like midday meal schemes and DWCD programs of Government of India, and also UNICEF and CARE program. I believe from a learned personality with such vivid and grassroots experiences, we will surely receive expansion in our thought process. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. Then we have Dr. Ravish Kumar Verma, Assistant Professor from CCR PG College, Muzaffarnagar, and Dr. Vista Joshi from SMS Krishi Vigyan Kendra, Jalon, as our repertoires of the day. Finally, I cannot miss the chance to introduce our speaker of the day, Dr. Mahesh Chandel. Dr. Mahesh Chandel, who is a PhD in Extension Education from ICR Indian Veterinary Research Institute, is currently head of the division and Joint Director Extension Education at ICR IVRI. In his scientific career spanning over 29 years, he has guided over 45 masters and PhD students in extension education. He is associated with several national and international bodies dealing with agricultural extension, sustainable livestock production, organic farming, contributing to several international and national committees to develop the standards for sustainable agriculture and animal husbandry. He has been member secretary as well as member of the 11th and 12th plan subgroups on livestock technology transfer service Government of India and was awarded outstanding teaching by IVRI as well as best teacher award by ICR. Students guided by him too have won several awards, including 2 students receiving Jawaharlal Nehru Outstanding PhD Thesis Award by ICR and 6 students receiving International Travel Fellowship. He has been coordinating entrepreneurship development course at IVRI and also been a member of the advisory committee of Agri-Business Incubation Cell and Institute Technology Management Committee IVRI. He has widely traveled nationally and internationally with 38 deputations abroad across the continent. Several books with chapters published by ICR and research papers in naturated high-impact journals are on his name, writing blogs on various agricultural issues in his passion. In continuation of the previous lectures on professionalization of agricultural education by Dr. B. Kumar and pedagogy of effective teaching by Dr. S.K. Kashyap, today we have the opportunity to learn from the vast experience of our speaker of the day about managing teaching learning process. On a personal note, I got a chance to attend some of his lectures in training sessions held at Pantnagar University, and they were really incredible. I request the chairperson, Professor Pooja Talikoti, to kindly start the session. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, indeed. First, I would like to congratulate the entire team for selecting such a wonderful and very significant topic for the webinar. The reason being simple that these days you name the information that is available in the internet. You search Google and everything is available on Google. You can see the scientific papers, and as well as if you go to YouTube, you can see all ready-made PPTs available. So in what way our teaching learning process can be different from that information available on the internet? So this is a big challenge for the teachers. Even as a teacher, I felt this because everything is now just click it and you'll get the information. So how we can make a difference is there is no explanation, there is no description, there is no interaction, there is no innovation, and there is no socialization, innovation of new ideas. Nothing is there if you go just through the net. Therefore, how come our teaching learning process will be different from that information available on the net, and how we can improve their learning outcomes and how to enhance our own teaching with multidisciplinarily and also looking into the new national education policy. So these are few challenges, and later on we can definitely have a discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I request Mahesh sir to please start with the lecture.
Thank you, Dr. Neha. Honorable Chairperson Pooja Talikoti ma'am, Dr. Kalyan Gadai, Dr. Jirli, First of all, I congratulate the Department of Extension Education, BHU, for taking this initiative. In fact, this is an innovation. Extension people should deal with innovations, something new which others can follow. So I congratulate for taking this initiative and inviting lecturers so that many people can benefit in the time when we are going online, and you have taken excellent initiative for that. You deserve congratulations. Thank you very much also for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. This is also an opportunity for me to remember all my teachers who made me to this level that I am able to talk about teaching. So I pray and I give deep regards to all of my teachers from primary level to the doctorate level, all those who have saved my career. My whole mindset is shaped by their teaching. So to all my gurus. So let me start with what is guru. Guru, you know, now it has become so important, even in the dictionary has adapted it to say guru. And sometime in a lighter vein, we say, wo to guru hai yaar. Guru means such an important thing in Sanskrit, one who is regarded as having great knowledge, so much of wisdom, who can guide others. And also in Upanishads, they have said Gu means darkness, and Ru means which one who dispels this darkness. So Guru. Upanishads, they have given so much of importance to Guru. And India is having a finest example of Gurukuls. Dronacharya, Guru, this, and all they have been imparting teaching, and they used to take a lot of care of their students. They were so passionate about their Shishya, Guru Shishya Parampara, this tradition. So worldwide, people have Nalanda and all these things. People came all the way from China, different places to learn Indian tradition of teaching. So there is a lot of literature on what is Guru Shishya Parampara. Even in music, there is gharanas. And such a powerful respect students and disciples used to have for their teachers. And they were so reverent, so much of respect for them, for their wisdom, their knowledge, their teaching, whatever they could. And the student would totally surrender at their feet to gain something from them. So now currently what is happening, most of us are by default teachers. We have no passion for teaching, many of us. Somehow we became teacher by accident. And so by default teacher, I would say that. So it's fine that even if we have become by default teachers, we can imbibe the good practices of teaching. No one is stopping us, even if by default. So not many people want teachers. Sometimes people joke about, wo to master hai, master banega. Sometimes importance for daroga, a police inspector, is more for respect, command respect, because the power they hold in comparison to teacher. So society is passing through such a level where power is in that sense. So if you see our olden days and currently, but again, I would say that teachers still have a lot of respect. Even in African countries, in some other countries, in some of the countries, teachers are highest paid because they save the destiny of many others. So they make managers, they make engineers, doctors, what's not. This is all being done by teachers. So one who dispels that darkness is a guru at that teacher. So he commands that respect. So we have to see that how it happens, how one can earn this much of respect from their teachers, from their students. You know, the students, they don't, if I ask you, close your eyes for a moment, close your eyes and think about teachers. If I say, think about good teachers, you'll go back to your primary level or high school level and think about who were those good teachers. Then next question, why they were so good teachers? Why they were? What was in them that made them good teachers? Why do you remember still them? All of us might be having some ideal teachers in our mind that, oh yeah, if I ask, close my eyes and think about those teachers. And then if I am asked, or all of you are asked to write about their characteristics, what was in them? We'll note down 1, 2, 3. You will find there is a lot of commonality. So what was common? Then at the different level. And then again, if I ask you, who were the bad teachers? All of us, we have faced good or bad teachers both at different point of time. Why they were good, why they are bad. So what were those features if I look at? First thing is knowledge and understanding of the subject. Even before that, I would say that the word empathy. Empathy is such a powerful word in extension discipline, especially all in social sciences or human psychology. Empathy, putting oneself into others' shoes. First of all, before we are anything else, teachers and whatsoever, administrator and whatsoever, we are human being. As a human being, are we empathy? Do we have empathy? Thinking from the other's perspective. If I am a teacher, he say that Aham Brahmasmi, I am everything. With that attitude, if I enter into a classroom, that will be a kind of injustice to my teaching or to my students. That empathy, that had I been in their place, how, in what way I would have loved teaching. Sometimes it happens, some good teachers are there. We listen with the rapt attention that each and every word being said by that person is like a golden word for us. Just like Amrit, okay. So there, with that passion that person is teaching and with rapt attention, we are listening. Sometimes they are very casual teachers are the way they have dressed, the way they are speaking, sometimes with arrogance and all these kind of things. So this develops kind of a mistrust and the bonding gets very loose. That is strong bonding is not there then. Knowledge and understanding of the subject comes next, enthusiasm for a subject. If I feel that very reluctantly I am taking up a subject, I remember sometime, I must give examples also, we used to have an economics professor. Every day in the class he would come, he would say, I am having a headache. Okay, fine. Sometime we may have a headache. Headaches. If everybody is coming within 5 minutes, he want to leave the class. Every day he is giving example. He is having a headache. The student, and then actually, to a student, he is a big headache and kind of a nuisance that you are taking excuse of headache that you want to run away from the class. You are saying like that. So do you think that a student is, if still I remember, that is a kind of a bad teacher, I remember this. At the same time, we had very good teacher. So still their name gives a different vibes in our minds. So then when they come, they teach with a lot of passion and enthusiasm, with a lot of interest. So they want that you would like to have continuing with them. Sometimes, I should give this, there is one Eric, Administrative Staff College of India. There was one teacher once, some few years back, I attended one training. That class is normally up to 1 hour. He continued up to 4.5 hours. And no one complained that simply that you see, with that kind of enthusiasm, he was teaching and giving real life examples. It's not a bookish example. If you are giving real life examples, so it will be having altogether different beauty of that subject. Can you imagine 4.5 hours he continued? It started 2 o'clock and it went around up to 6:30. He was from medical profession and he was talking something about human psychology, different way, and so he made it so interesting. Otherwise, can anybody bear even 45 minutes bearing somebody is very difficult. So this is, and then one should have a genuine interest into the students. And then a student can very easily get it, whether a teacher is having genuine interest in them or not. So that is another criteria. Knowledge of teaching skill is, of course, is a very important. Teaching skill means that if I'm using PowerPoint and every day I'm coming, this becomes a mechanical kind of thing that I'm using PowerPoint. It's like a machine, flipping through the slides and talking. So once in Thailand, what happened 2005, almost 15, 16 years back, I had one paper. For that, I had a PowerPoint presentation. So that I presented. I had my colleague, other's paper with me. I was co-author. He was not there. Rather, she was not there. So I thought, let me present it without PowerPoint. It clicked so wonderfully well. Even that was much better than my paper, which I presented with PowerPoint. They liked it so much. In fact, our Deputy Director General was also there attending some other sessions. That person from attendance, one participant from UK, he conveyed that your staff, your scientists presented so nicely. So that gave me the clear idea that presentation with PowerPoint, presentation without PowerPoint, so it doesn't matter much because it depends on your ability, what treatment you are giving to the topic. So this is, and then a teacher has to be engaging personality. Sometimes it is kind of a monologue, you know. I go prepared lecture and give straight talk I am giving. I am talking this, and then I come out of class. I'm not actually engaging them in discussion, talking with them, making them comfortable so that they enjoy this one. So then again, if I'm treating is a matter, okay, I have to finish this topic in 45 minutes. I have some content to be delivered. That yesterday, the other presentation, Dr. Kashyap was talking about content delivery is not that important. Yes, true. Truly, content delivery is not that much important. Anybody can deliver content, but the one who is delivering the content and how is delivering that content and all associated things, whether he's engaging while delivering the content. Engaging means interacting with them. So if that is not there, so subject will not be that interesting to the students. Sometimes what happens, we feel that I am a teacher. They are a student, they are supposed to listen us. It means that we are not respecting them. Respecting a student is very important. Taking their opinion. Sometimes we are not used to taking feedback also. I'm taking this course, Entrepreneurship Development. For last 10 years, I have taken written feedback from the students in the Proforma developed. And I'm telling you, this really helps. Verbal feedback taking and written feedback taking. And they are well developed Proforma for doing so. Even if you are applying for ICR awards nowadays, they are asking, so I just sample some 8 or 10 feedback Proforma filled up by the students. I am having huge pile up because what I do, once I collect it, I go through them, what they are saying. And I look for if someone has criticized some of the things in me that they didn't like about. Actually, this is the greatest learning. I must improve to fit into the students' scheme of things that they enjoy my lectures, how I can make my lecture interesting to them, that negative feedback given by the students. So once I shouted at one student in a class of around 153 students are there in that. So when I took feedback, so he gave me, so he said about this one, you are an angry man. So this is a learning for me. If someone is giving this feedback about me that I'm an angry man, so this I should improve, isn't it? I should improve because what I have seen over the years, I have seen all these students and then I can judge what kind of, I'll give you an example of one of my students. She's now IAS. She got 42nd rank from Kerala, joined Tamil Nadu Civil Services. So when she was doing course, that's entrepreneurship development, at that time, she had given, I gave 1-page assignment to the students to write both way in handwriting, no type thing. Handwriting, your role model. I asked them my role model. I asked them to write about their role model or what I love to do. Simply they have to express with the pen and pencil, they have to write it. So when selected the lot many student, I went through and I see the moment I saw that she had made a very nice border around that. She had written about an ant, you know, Cheetah ke bare mein likha tha. And then when everybody is surprised that when she was selected because no one was knowing that she's preparing for that. Even her roommate at IVI was not knowing that she's preparing for civil service. I asked her, Anu, how come she was not knowing that you are preparing for civil service? She told her she never asked, I never told. Because she was PhD in biochemistry and she was in MSc in extension education at 3 o'clock in the morning, she used to prepare. And when she got this 42nd rank, everybody surprised that when she prepared about. Then a journalist came from Malayala Manorama, that magazine in Kerala. So we came to interview her. I did out her assignment of the first year course. So then I said, then she was surprised, sir, you have maintained this assignment. I said, not only you, all the students since 2010, I have maintained assignment of each and every student. I learn from them. Some would write because it is an audit course, non-gradal course. Some would be writing very casually, you know. They will write, they will finish. Or somehow they will copy. When I used to ask them, they used to give typed one and they would give instruction to the typist. Wo naam badal dena, just change the name. And when they would submit the same thing. So my role model is somebody is writing my mother. And then another one is also copying the same thing. So you lack of enthusiasm, this one. You see about that girl, So she had written so nicely and giving a very nice border around it. So you see that sincerity of the students. So, and then when we are giving this kind of example to the other students in successive batch, some will get inspired definitely. They will draw inspiration. And then teachers' job is also give to encouragement and motivation. You know, in a class of 50, all will not be the same. They will have different mental level. Some will be very intelligent because of their background and all. So many things goes on that what makes a good student or bad student. It is always a challenge for a teacher to identify and encourage each and everyone. So when I was doing masters, there was an American professor. He was visiting a class and taking class. What I liked about, what I liked about his class was that he was trying to encourage everyone and asking questions, and then encouraging. Yes, yes, go on. You are right, like that. It was very good style. Sometimes a teacher will be scolding. Oh, you don't know this thing. The moment you say somebody you don't know, really that person will never learn. If you are able to encourage him to how to make him learn, so then he'll be thankful to us. So as we extension students, we say that there is a learning situation. We have to take into account the learning situation. We have to create a situation where one can learn, and teaching has to be learner center. It should go around the need of the learner, that he is learning, how he can best learn. And then in the class, in the very beginning of the class, we have to make it clear what are the learning objectives of today's class. So at the end of the class, again, we can say that these were the learning objective for today's class. At the end, we can ask, could they learn it or not? So whether teacher was successful or not, and then learning experiences. So in many different diverse learning experiences, we can share with the students, and we can enrich our teaching in the due course of time by giving different examples, and the use of variety of teaching method, as I have already said, that role play and different kind of things, and exposing to the maximum field situation. One thing I have realized in our extension subject, there is practicals are very weak. We are field experiences. We are not taking students to the field, to the stakeholders. You know, when I was initially in my job in the 6 years, I was away from the teaching thing, and there were no students were there, and I was totally engaged in field extension activities. I used to go with the veterinarians in the villages, interact with the farmers, distributing them some dewormers and some vitamins and some kind of a veterinary medicines. People used to think that, even the villagers used to think that we are kind of a lowly paid staff, because going to their doorstep means that they will think that we are from the lowest. But my objective was to learn from them, to develop rapport with them, to come closer with them, so that I can learn interacting with these people, these poor farmers. So with the pretext of giving them medicines and checking their animals and all these things, I learned a great deal by being in the field. So now when I'm teaching, that a lot of confidence is there now. Because if you want to gain confidence, we have to have practical first-hand experience we are having. Just like laboratory-based subject, if I know the technique, laboratory technique, handling pipettes and all these things and that processes, and then that confidence will be there when I'm taking theoretical classes. Otherwise, if I'm lacking, that will not be there. So elements of learning situation is that learners, teachers, subject matter, teaching material, physical facilities, all these matter. But again, I would say that even if you are not having some of these physical facilities, even then you can manage very well, because human resource is the most important must. Learner is there, teacher is there, no matter all the time. It is not physical facilities do not matter. Sometimes, you know, many of you might be knowing Professor Anil Gupta. In 1995, attended at Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, one summer school for 10 days. So at that time, there was from a college, one training from in Madhya Pradesh, some Mandsaur district, a degree college student was there, actually lecturer. His presentation was in transparency, and it was not so well done. Many were laughing at it. Then Professor Anil Gupta, you see, such a rich, experienced person, he was saying, when you are laughing at him and making joke of his presentation, think about his background, from where he has come, and you appreciate that thing. He is making a presentation before you. Just when he will come in contact with you, then he will be better person next time. Then you should not be, because you are most blessed person. You are having everything. You are living in metros. You are work with the big institutions where a lot of facilities are there. But you think about a person, a teacher who is coming from a degree college and then very remote area, and then he's making, and today he's sitting with you. This kind of, then that was the greatest learning to us from Professor Anil Gupta. So whenever we get a chance to interact with such professors like Professor Anil Gupta, so we learned a great deal of things from each and everything what he says. It is a kind of a learning and blessing for us. So finally, I would say something about attributes of other these good teachers. They have to make oneself fit, in the fitness, that energy level they should be having, and then fitness, and then well dressed also. Sometime I was in Panagar. I have been for last 3-4 years going there to take lectures on teaching there. I saw some teachers, they were taking so casually, and then elsewhere also I see sometime they will come in the chappals, are putting up jeans, t-shirts. You see, we don't go to a picnic with a tie and suit. We don't go like that. Then how come in a teaching, and we'll take it so lightly and dressed up casually? It makes everything so diluted. That sincerity is lacking. Sometime I got the opportunity by my lectures being taken by the Europeans. Outside, they would be moving into Bermuda and all, interacting. When they are coming to the class, I used to see them in the all well-dressed way. I will give you an example. In 1997, I had gone to one conference in Boston, the Tufts University, and then I had not taken any suit or nothing, at sweater and all. So sometimes, even the dinners, it will be a formal kind of a dressing up will be there. So when we arrived for the dinner, for other than 3 people, all were in the nice dressed with a tie and everything. Sometimes it is a mandatory, but UK, if you attend that, they are so strict about the dressing sense. So sometimes it may be casual. So we have to, in the class, if you are well dressed, the student will learn. So at our some kind of, we have our dean sometime at Panagar also, some veterinary college, Dr. I.P. Singh, and then others, some deans were there. So they were very, they used to be very, very careful about dressing sense. They exuded that confidence, and people with respect will have a lot of respect for that kind of thing. And then one has to, it's not that teacher has to be very serious looking all the time, I can't laugh like that. No, it had to be, it should make kind of a enjoyable, sometime of a kind of a, by giving interesting example, maybe sometimes jokes also. All the time jokes are not fine, but just to make a point, cracking joke is not, the teacher should have ability to control the class very perfectly. And then there was our teacher at NARM, Hyderabad, Dr. Jagannatham Challa. Some of you might be knowing. So when he used to take our induction training at 1991, when I joined ARS service, he is an animal nutrition person. You see, he was at IBRI also, animal nutrition person. But there he was used to take psychology classes. He had developed so much himself about psychology. For a veterinarian or animal nutrition person getting adapted to psychology, it's a very different. Then when he used to take class, there used to be perfect silence. With the rapt attention, everybody used to listen to him, each and every word. So this is what is the beauty. And then he would say all kind of jokes, and also we should, we should be knowing our students well. Sometimes, if a teacher is able to name somebody by first name, if I say Kalyan in a class of 100, that Kalyan will remember my teacher, remembered by me by first name. Sometimes it happens, teachers, even after spending 6 months with them, they hardly remember names of the students. They don't, it's a careless attitude, in fact. We should be having this kind of a rapport. By first name, we should be knowing them. And then, of course, the punctuality and well-preparedness for the class. it is very important. You know, at our Mukteswar campus, British time, there is a classroom there. Just outside the classroom, there is a teacher's preparation room. Teacher, before the class, he would go there and prepare himself, then only enter into the class. Now you compare the situation now. Are we preparing before going to class, or we take it, okay, kya hai, le lenge, this kind of, and the teacher should have a broader outlook and good command of the language. Yes, it is very important. If our language is not good, we should try to improve our language. It's no excuse. Sometimes people give excuse that, okay, it is English, it is not our. If you ask them to give lecture in their own language, again they may fail. So they are not native, they are not good in native language or in English. So that is very important. One has to think about. So I want to convey that message that we should keep on verbal feedback, written feedback, we should improve upon, and also there are ready-made performa available. If any one of you need, and I can share with Dr. Kalyan also about the self-appraisal form. So once you are taking classes, you can have that self-appraisal forms. So self-appraisal form can be, you can judge yourself what kind of teaching. Are you satisfied? Your teaching experience should be at the end of the day or at the end of the class, it should lead to satisfaction. You should be satisfied that, yes, I did justice to my lecture. So this, I should not prolong much, and I should not tell, because many of you who are attending, they themselves are very good teachers. In fact, learning is a lifelong experience. We keep on learning all the time from everybody. Each one of us is capable of giving some kind of learning to others. So we should continue our learning experiences, improving ourselves, enriching ourselves, and then what we have learned and practicing that thing. We need to make our practicals very strong. We should take around, we should go, because I have been going to the interacting with the farmers a lot and meeting with them, entrepreneurs. I have big stories about, I have written blogs about these entrepreneurs, how they are doing it. And over the years, I also monitor how they are improving over the years. Then I can share these experiences to the students, so that when they will learn and they will get inspired. So my final statement would be there, that learning should be inspiring. Teaching should be inspiring. I must be able to inspire the students, and they should be looking forward to my classes. If I am not there, they should miss my class. They should feel that sir is not there today. Does it happen or not? We have to give self-appraisal. If teaching must inspire, there is no other option, that if I am not inspiring students, so it's my failure. Sometimes some teachers complain, oh, आजकल लड़के students ना सो जाते हैं, they sleep in the class. If I am a boring person, if I am not interesting enough, they do have an option to sleep. Actually, then we as a teacher are sleeping pills. I dare, because I have not seen anyone sleeping ever in my class. I have to engage them. I have to engage them. You know, at the NAM once induction training, I was invited to give lecture on something. One month before, I developed one questionnaire with the help of a student. I got information about all these training, induction training, ARS trainees, and then I got the information about, then I started presenting that thing to this. And then there were some habitual sleeping people. You know, we are new in the job and we are eating well, and our worry is gone because we have got the job. So, and then generally they will say extension people, because there are multidisciplinary people, entomologists, soil scientists, so many people are there. So when I started giving lectures, that was on about their so far experience, because they had already spent at Hyderabad 3 months and they have come from the different background, and I had taken information about them beforehand. And I was presenting, and they were not wondering that how could I'm presenting about them only. It was asking that, have you been to that restaurant or not? Yes or no? How many 80% have visited this and that? So they was then alerted them, because it was something being talked about them. So they were very alert about that one. So then I came to the actual my lecture, what was the content which I wanted to share. Then many trainees, they told, sir, some who are habitual sleeping people, today they couldn't sleep. So I told, yes, I know that a teacher has to teach in such a way that Dr. Kalyan, can I take 5 minutes giving one example? I love to give that example.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. You have time.
Actually, that is about a movie. I like that movie. There was a school for that. There was a school for scoundrel, means a school for those who are very bad guys, bad, very difficult to handle students. So there was a school for such students. Then the school for scoundrels means habitual disturbing people and nuisance. And you can imagine the principal of that school, he was well chosen, very smart. So there was one boy, especially, he was a very difficult boy, very difficult boy. And it was a challenge for the principal to handle that student. How to tackle this student. What he did, So it is in the lighter vein also. The teacher, what he started eyeing girlfriend of that particular boy. It was not exactly girlfriend. Then he was, he started eyeing that one. He was pretending actually. Then the boy, ever since he learned that the teacher is eyeing that girl on whom he was having some interest, he gave up all his bad activity, all notorious activities, stopped doing. Then he started following the teacher just to protect his girlfriend from the teacher. You see the strategy adopted for a kind of a very bad student. And then he became so sober afterwards. He stopped all his kind of bad activities. He was focused only on that teacher and that particular girl. And teacher was pretending. So finally it was done. It was done so much. And teacher was increasing his intensity about his affiliation towards that girl. It was all deliberate. He had no interest. Finally, ultimately, that boy came to know that teacher is going for kind of an outing with that particular girl. And they had booked a plane ticket also. So when they had boarded and then the boy is running after to catch that plane. Ultimately, he lands up inside the plane. He goes there and then he starts beating the teacher. So then teacher tells him that. So finally, that boy gets a diploma. When leaving the college, so he asked the student, will you ever come for a invited lecture if I invite you for a lecture in this college? He says, those who can do, they do, those who can't, they teach. Are you getting this meaning of this? So he meant to say he would do better things. Actually, this particular quote is very popular about the management schools. They say that those who can do, they do, those who can't, they teach. Means rather than teaching, they would like to go out in the field and they will do something bigger than teaching. So those who can't, they teach. So that principal was so happy that finally he could transform that particular boy, and strategy he adopted because no other strategy would have worked. Suppose you give moral boosting, oh, you are good, some kind of a pampering and all, nothing would have worked to that particular boy. So he had to resort to that particular technique to sober him up and to correct him. And finally, he got the diploma. And it is shown that he was doing very well in his life. So I conclude with these things, and many things can be spoken, many things, and there is no end up. And moreover, all of you are teachers. So whenever I will get, I was other day listening to Dr. Kashyap, fantastic lecture he gave. And that was also inspiring to me also, because he's a good friend of mine, and then I keep on meeting him. And also teaching cell he has opened in the Department of Extension. That is good way to teach other teachers. So if you learn, so at least a platform is there. So this way that Extension Education Department BHU is doing very good. And I appreciate Dr. Kalyan is always coming up with some ideas. So which I like very much, and then for this opportunity, I am grateful to Dr. Kalyan, Dr. Jirli, Department of Extension Education, BHU. So last year I went to that Mirzapur Veterinary College for giving lecture in person, face to face. That was also a good opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Hope I was able to do justice to the invitation given to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. if our chairperson allows, can we go ahead with the question answer rounds?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, there is a question from Dr. Mahesh Jayashree. According to him, there are different elements which creates the best teaching learning situation in a classroom. In your opinion, which one of the elements is most influencing among others?
Actually, when you are saying teaching learning situation, learners, we have to be learner focused. We have to see them. Sometimes people complain, we don't have facility, this kind of LCD is not there or something. We say that as if it is a big limitation. So if I said no, human resources is most important. Sometimes very huge buildings are there, a lot of gadgets are there. The teacher is not so good. So and then he's not able to do. I would always say that teacher is most important, learner is most important. If you are able to have this teaching material with you, physical facility, say for example, if it is so hot, if it is a classroom is air conditioned, it's a fine. But if you are so good in teaching, students won't mind whether air conditioning is there or not. But if you are having everything, air conditioning is there, if teacher is not good, student would like to sleep nicely. Is it not? So ultimately, I would say that is a human resource is very important. So this, the elements of this one, teacher, learner, subject matter, physical facilities, everything is there. But the teacher and learner, two human resource, human beings, they makes everything. So the teacher's responsibility is maximum.
Thank you, sir. Next question is from Pavan Kumar Gupta. He asked, according to you, what defines a relationship between a teacher and a student?
It's a kind of a, teaching is a very noble profession. It's a very passionate, and it should be kind of a respect has to be there. And for expecting respect from the student, teacher has to give respect to the student. So it's not that sometimes people expect that students should say always namaste like that and all these things. And they will say, and they always bother that, वो namaste अच्छे से नहीं करते मेरे को. So that is not. Sometimes it is also no being looked at. If you are saying like namaste, it is also kind of a sarcastic thing. I can give one very good example at Pantnagar when we were doing, one economics professor was there. He never took class very seriously, in fact. And but he would, when you are saying namaste, even say namaste sir, he would say namaste. So once some student dared to ask him, sir, वो semester खत्म हो रहा है, so अपना class कब लेंगे? So he took it very negatively. He called us once at 8 o'clock in the morning. Till 5 o'clock, he did not leave us. Then at the end of the class, 5 baje bola, so kaisa raha class? So actually, what to say about the teacher? But actually, he tried to punish us for asking that classes have not held. Generally, Pantnagar, is known for taking class very sincerely or very regularly. He was kind of an exception. But he would say namaste like this. It used to look like kind of a sarcastic thing. So it was not that respect, kind of a superficial respect is there. So teacher will earn real respect if he had been taking classes very regularly, very punctually, and all the subject matter covered on time, all the content is covered. Student would have been happy. So saying even if as a student, sometimes they will respect getting marks, they will respect you like that. The moment semester is over, they will forget you. So this is the situation.
Thank you, sir. There is another question which has been in discussion past 2 days. It says, how about creating a discipline of agricultural education in state agricultural universities, which will nurture the students in teaching pedagogy, teaching learning mechanism, also providing training to our students and teachers rather than just qualifying NET and started teaching?
Yes, actually that is a very good question.
Very good.
You see, earlier there was no induction kind of a training. Now it has been mandatory. I think it is 21 days or 1 month long training for teachers. For that only I had gone to BHU last year. Actually, that was induction training, and I think it has become compulsory. But before that, even the teaching cell, ET cell, what you call at Pannagar, that in Extension Communication Department.
Technology cell.
Yes, yes. It's a very good initiative. I like it because all the teachers of the university are being trained in Extension Department in the teaching cell. So that was irrespective of this thing, and you would wonder that many participants used to come on their own, paying traveling and all, and paying fee also for that. So it means that they are really interested in learning and how to teach. And they used to invite really good accomplished teachers. I have also had chance of going there 2-3 times. It was very good, and they were they used to look good diversity of teaching from different. Dr. Kashyap being himself a very good teacher, then he used to look into, and genuine effort was being made there. Likewise, many others also, and UGC also is having so many centers to teach, and also refresher courses in between. But what I have seen, people choose to go for their subject matter training. Say, for example, if someone is agronomy person, he would like to attend agronomy training, but they never realize that they should attend some training on teaching also, because they feel वो तो हम teacher बन गए अब उसको सीखना क्या है इसमें. So this feeling is there. So it is not good feeling, but gradually it is coming up. It is being realized we need training on teaching also, how to do it. So the great variety of this, but it is already happening, I think, and it has been made mandatory also. In case of ARS, we are attending that 6-month subject matter training, this training at NARM, induction training, foundation course, that is basically about research. Also, we are getting opportunity to learn about teaching as well. But for the teachers, it should be a mandatory, and in fact, it has been made mandatory. But Agriculture University, I think it is also happening. Where it is not there, it will happen. Any other question?
No, sir. I think we are running out of time.
It's a fine.
I would request. I would request Chairman Ma'am for her remarks.
Yeah. Thank you. It was an excellent presentation by Dr. Mahesh Chattar.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah, it is mute only. Can you hear me?
Madam, yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Yes, can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Excellent presentation, because the teacher is always a student also. I learned a lot from the presentation, and a few of his points have really took me back to my 33 years of service at University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. And 2-3 points he mentioned: mistrust, there is no bonding, we are not engaging students. This is very, very true. Initially, as an associate professor also, I felt this. And again, I want to share my own personal experience. I put a question answer box in front of the students. Without writing your name, you just give one reason why you feel that we teachers are not engaging you, why there is no bonding. And they came up with such excellent ideas, trust me. Even till today, I remember and keep quoting those students. I remember those students for that brilliant idea. So this really works out if you want to take the ideas and telling them, don't write your name. Just give your own suggestions, your ideas. And even we can fix ideas through this particular game, which I really enjoyed. And second, we had to create interest in the students, start the lecture with some, so that there is some excitement, and with some sayings or with some incidents or experiences which I learned. And I'll take extra 1 or 2 minutes. The two which were very popular in my teaching is, I used to take initial statistics class. And there I used to start off with a small story, which I also learned from one of my resource person. The story, I'll take a half a minute to tell that story. There was a new course introduced in Europe, and they decided that this course involves a lot of manual work, and the girls cannot do this because there is so much of physical work. Let's give admission only to the boys and not to the girls. And the girls also, they fought a lot, and at last they won. And girls also took admission. And at the end of the course, they came to know that one of the girl student married with her teacher, got married with her own teacher. And this came out as a stunting news. How can one girl can get married with the teacher? And they gave in the statistical language. They said 33.3% of girl students got married with their male teachers. And this statement brought so much of confusion. And then at the end, they came to know only 3 girls got admission in that course, and 1 girl got married with the male teacher. So, how statistics can also disturb us while doing research, data collection. So, start with some interesting stories, field experience, so that the students feel that, okay, now we are ready, go on. Similarly, you also mentioned about the content delivery is important and not, is not very important. How it is delivered is very, I'm really touched, doctor. This sentence has touched me so much because we deliver so much, सब कुछ बता देंगे हम, but how much has been really understood by the students, how much they have really learned in the class, this again becomes a big challenge for the students. And when we talk about the, you also mentioned about the personal experiences of field experience, because for around 20 years I was associated with the UNICEF, Rajasthan Field Office, Jaipur, and I used to take my students to the field wherever new flagship nutrition and health programs are initiated. And then again, when I used to talk about the strategy making, which I'm sure every academician, they talk about the various strategies. I used to quote one story, and even till today, 3 years of my retirement, my students have become teachers. They say, ma'am, I always quote your this story. And this is such a lovely story. There is an animal called a centipede, which has got 100 legs. Maybe you have heard, but still I would like to share. And it has got 100 legs. And one day this centipede develops arthritis. There is pain in all 100 legs. Then his wife tells, why don't you go to the most intelligent animal of the jungle and ask him to suggest a strategy, a solution for this. Whole night the owl keeps, the centipede thinks. And at last in the morning, he says, I have identified the most interesting or intelligent animal of the jungle, that is owl. उल्लू को वो most intelligent मानता है, and he goes to the owl next day with pain in 100 legs, and the owl says, okay, you have got pain in 100 legs, why don't you get converted into human being? Instead of having pain in 100 legs, you'll have pain only in 2 legs. So the centipede is very happy, comes back and tells his wife, this is what he suggested. But wife says, dear, you didn't ask how to get yourself converted into human being. Then again next day he goes with the pain in 100 legs and asks the owl, you have given such an excellent strategy, but tell me, how should I myself get converted into human being? The owl says, stupid, my duty was to suggest you a strategy. How to implement, it is your outlook. So this is what is happening, whether it comes to teaching, learning, or the research, the dissertations. There is no support from the administration. There are financial resources problem, and we just keep on suggesting the strategies, but at the implementation level, we are not able to do anything. Therefore, much of our programs, they fail. And respecting the students, I definitely agree. We should have respect for our students, because though they may not show, but definitely they'll be having some very, very innovative ideas. Maybe they are shy because I work only with the girl students. But when it comes to giving them a platform and encouraging them, they definitely come out. Therefore, a platform is essential for discussion, for bringing out their innovations in them, and practical experience that is always below average, because every time they say we have no funds and how to take the girls, parents are scared to take the girls to the field. And this is where I utilized UNICEF free of cost as a part of the project. They used to allow us to take the students, and they really learned, especially the nutritional assessment, which you all know of the children and the women, whatever taught in the class, they were just half they learned. But when they went to the field and really did the assessment of children and women, they said, ma'am, we really learned. And the skill associated to this, I always feel our teaching learning process where there is a lack of skill, because agar rakhi kaise banana hai, if you ask them to write an essay, they'll write 2 pages essay. But when I tell them to prepare a rakhi, then that skill has to be there. Therefore, most of our subjects content should be linked to the skill. And another point which I liked about the sir, which he told, management of the resources. Many a times we give excuses that we do not have resources, especially financial. Therefore, we are not able to do it. But there are good number of things. Without finances, we can have innovation in our teaching. One is extempore, as today we are talking. Just keep talking and they really listen. If you have command over your language, if you can quote good examples, field experiences, then they listen to you like a story. And another here, my own example, I would like to give in one of my classes. I was just talking on iron deficiency anemia among the girls. And that is, micronutrients are very close to my heart. And when I started teaching iron deficiency anemia, the symptoms and the consequences, at the end of the, I was not using any teaching aid. I was just talking. And the girls were listening. And at the end, one girl started crying. I said, why are you crying? She says, ma'am, what all you explained, the symptoms, all are in me. Today itself, I'm going to check my hemoglobin levels and I'll inform you. So they should somewhere relate to themselves. This is where the learning happens. And she says, till today, I cannot forget what are the symptoms and consequences and management of iron deficiency anemia. And few things I would like to add. At times, sir did mention that students, they laugh while teaching. Yes, at times it is a constraint. I belong to Karnataka and native of Bangalore. But when I reached Jaipur, I was not knowing Hindi at all. Very little conversation Hindi. And Hindi, and initially for 3 years, we are given to take nutrition classes for BA course and to be taught in Hindi. The media of instruction was स्त्रीलिंग पुल्लिंग का बड़ा चक्कर होता था. And they used to tell, when I used to tell स्त्रीलिंग पुल्लिंग, they used to laugh in the class and they used to tell, no ma'am, गाड़ी आ रही है, truck आ रहा है, one is स्त्रीलिंग, one is pulling. Therefore the language command has to be there, what type of grammar we use, and how much we really learn by reading. I always request all my colleagues and teachers, you read so much with the result, you develop that language. And this, I am the standing example. Daily I used to read Rajasthan Patrika and have learned Hindi so well. Trust me, if you call me to give the same lecture in Hindi, I can do much better than the Hindi speaking people, because I learned that text language. Therefore, by constant reading, and students will also come to know, because once you are read, you can definitely quote the source and you can tell in this particular report, textbook, this has been mentioned. So we have to update ourselves, and as soon as something is released on the net, we should be aware about it. And students, they share only with those teachers who talk about the latest data. And therefore, this, and another thing, sir, mentioned that you should not look serious. In that question answer book, a few students did mention that this particular ma'am doesn't smile. She wears such a grim face on her. Therefore, we feel, not encouraged. So I asked the girls, I don't know who that girl who has given this comment, who the girls are, maybe because there were 3 to 4 such comments had come. What should be done? You tell me. Next day, they put up a poster in the classroom from Archie's, wear a smile. So every teacher saw that and they realized, and I'm sure the teacher who never used to smile also started smiling. So it was very well presented, but I would like to add few from academic point of view. One is we.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we are running out of time. It's already 5.
Okay, but last one point, I would like to request the organizer to have some webinar on agriculture and nutrition, because every agriculturist should know about nutrition. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was really worth knowing your experiences and interacting with you. And regarding Mahesh sir, I must say that he has been one of the major proponents of our program since years, and he has a great appreciation of what it takes to truly make any event or conference continue on a path of progress. That's my personal feeling. Coming to the conclusion, I would like to request Dr. Basaprabhu Jirli sir, Head the Department of Extension Education, to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Neha.
Sir, Dr. Hema Tripathi is also here.
Let me extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Mahesh Chandra sir. He had been to Banaras Hindu University many times, and he gave lectures also, especially on social media, sir. I still remember your lecture on that use of social media, especially for providing extension services. And today's lecture was also really an eye-opener for all of us, even though we are practitioners. But still, we forget, maybe unintentionally, we forget many things, and you reminded us all those things, and hope we'll practice those things in the days to come. And let me extend my sincere thanks to the chair of today's session, Dr. Pooja Talikoti madam, and looking into the title of the madam, I said that no, she is from my place. And she obviously she is from my place, and we are neighbors, as far as our native places are concerned. Yeah. And thank you, Dr. Kalyan, for arranging this meeting so that I came across one of my neighbors, senior place. And the of this event, Dr. Kalyan Gadai deserves a rich appreciation, because it is his brainchild, and he is implementing it with the support of the team led by Dr. Neha Upreti. Because even today, Dr. Neha, so many of the faculty remembers you were anchoring in the programs, and many times, "Arey wo hai to thoda bol do yaar, bula lo abhi." So this is what is the thing that we keep on getting. Yeah. And now say that no, she is not available in Varanasi, uske liye to aapko Delhi jana padega. This is your reputation here, huh? Even though this is the team led by Dr. Neha, and doing wonderful job really. And both the rapporteurs also deserve rich appreciation, because they are making a note of all these things. And I
Dr. Ravi,
for your active participation. There were good questions, as well as befitting reply from the resource person also. So I thank one and all for making this mega event very successful. Thank you.
Actually, Dr. Neha is a living example how you have groomed her. Also, Pannagar, she has learned a great deal. So we see that how students have been groomed. Yeah. So this is practically we can see that she is doing so well. I'm happy to see her.
Yes, sir.
We are also rapporteurs, this young one, this Joshi, and then Ravish Verma.
So they are doing.
Thank you for being here, all of you. Actually, you are the future leader, so you have to pick up the things and groom yourself and learn from everybody. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Finally, Jirli Sir, Kalyanji, Madam Talakoti Madam, and then Neha and all reporters. Thank you very much. It was nice. And every extension activity should end up in satisfaction. This is what we have.
Yeah.
We are satisfied at the end of
delegates
it.
And
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
We are blessed to have you all, sir. And now it's already 5:06.